Well, you guys showed up, you showed out, and we're back with a follow-up video. Not that long ago, I did a video highlighting some iconic, timeless, legendary fragrances that have been copied, or fragrances that are related to them, maybe accidentally or coincidentally, or just outright clones, whatever it may be. But they're fragrances that, in my opinion, are untouchable. The clones cannot outdo them. They still, to this day, ruin all of their copies. But you guys wanted to see the other side of the coin, and I'm happy to provide that. In my opinion, I'm going to share with you guys 5 iconic, timeless fragrances that kind of have been outshone by some successors. Now, I do want to say this is the most important thing in this video. This is the fulcrum. This is the cornerstone. The iconic, legendary, and timeless fragrances I'm presenting are phenomenal. They are amazing. I really enjoy these fragrances to varying degrees, and I'm in no way trying to say that they are not worth time, attention, and money anymore. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that, in my opinion, to this guy's nose, there are certain fragrances that have outshone them. They've grabbed the torch in a respectful way, and they've brought it forward into the now, and they've done it in a way that, if anything, just pays homage to the original in a way that elevates it even higher. The most important thing is that these successors would not exist if it weren't for their predecessors. That is number one. So I just want to make sure you guys know I'm not trying to pull respect away from these amazing fragrances. The respect they have is untouchable. Every fragrance I discuss will be linked down below in the description, so how about we dive right into it. First fragrance up, I will admit, if you came to me like 3-4 years ago and asked me how I feel about this fragrance, I would say very different things than what I'm going to say right now. I would say I don't really care for it. I actually don't even really find it pleasant. It smells weird to me. It smells kind of rancid on my skin. I don't know why people like it as much as they do. I don't get all the hype. That's probably what I would have said, but today I'm going to say I like this fragrance quite a bit. I see why people enjoy it. I don't think it's really worthy of a ton of hype, but I think it's a great scent. This is from Parfum de Carlisle. This is called Carlisle. Carlisle is 10 years old this year, guys. Did you know that? 2015. It's 2025 now, and Carlisle is still being talked about. I don't think it's really waned in popularity. There's just been a ton of stuff that's come since because thousands of fragrances are released every year. We're in one of the most oversaturated industries on the face of the earth. What are we doing here? But it's fun, even though it's insane. Carlisle is a lovely scent. It's kind of this sweet, warm, woody, earthy, spicy fragrance. There's this patchouli, which did not really work well on my skin at first, but now I really enjoy it. There's an edginess to the scent. There's something, again, very warm, spicy, almost like a cinnamon. I don't know if it's cinnamon, maybe a little bit of a fruitiness like apple or something in there that does make it very approachable. But it's a dark scent. It's a very alluring scent, but it also has a little bit of this high class to it. There's something you can really dress up for a more formal occasion if you really want to. I think it's great. And if there were no Carlisle, then we may not have like red tobacco from Mancera. And I'm sure there's stuff that maybe even came before Carlisle that Carlisle kind of resembles. But I didn't do my research beforehand to figure it out, so sue me. But the fragrance that does smell similar to Carlisle, that came after Carlisle by a few years, that I like more than Carlisle, is Triumph of Bacchus from Argos. I felt this way for a while. Even though my feelings towards Carlisle have improved, it doesn't get close to this for me. And the reason is this just has a little bit more dimensionality for me. It's just more interesting. And it's also just smoother and easier to wear. You get this beautiful booziness from rum. There's apple as well. There's some saffron. There's peach. It's very opulent and juicy. There's definitely this slightly earthy tobacco that is overall pretty tame. It's sweet, it's warm, it's round, it's boozy, it's juicy, it's again rich and a little bit more complex than Carlisle, so it just holds my attention a little bit better. As I always say, if you want to check out Argos, you can do so at their website using my code FRESH10 to save 10% on any purchase you make from Argos. I would recommend sampling first because you want to make sure you love it. That goes without saying. You already know that. Anyway, let me know what you think of Triumph of Bacchus if you've tried it. Up next, a total classic from the house of Dior. From the 1960s. This is one of the oldest fragrances that they still produce to this day. It's still on shelves. It's still on their website. It's not just on the discounters. You can find it for retail which means that they're still producing this fragrance even though it's been out for like 60 years or more. This is Eau Sauvage, the Eau de Toilette. Classic scent, a fantastic example of a masculine citrus aromatic that is timeless. It is lemony, it's kind of bright, but there's this herbal feel, there's something mossy about it, but overall it's a light scent. Maybe it's lighter than it used to be in years past, so be it. We have no way of really knowing that or experiencing the older version without spending more money than it's worth. So how about we just don't even worry about that? But overall, it's a light scent. It's a very gentlemanly fragrance. It can be a daily wear for a more sophisticated or mature personality. But to be honest with you, a fragrance that, again, may not exist if it weren't for Eau Sauvage, that I just like more because it's more interesting to me. It's more rich. There's more depth and complexity. Is Scandal Parfum Cologne from Roja Parfum. This really does smell like Eau Sauvage to me, but it's as if they took Eau Sauvage, which is a citrus aromatic, and they added enough depth to it to make it a fougere that just has more layers to it. It has more variables, more things interplaying with each other. It's more than just citrus. It's more than just aromatics and woods. There's a little bit of this almost animalic edge here that's kind of an illusion. I don't know where it comes from. There's this almost creamy sweetness, maybe like a tonka bean or a coumarin. There's definitely still mossiness and woodiness. The citruses still pop. You still get a beautiful lemon and bergamot, mouth-watering, bright. But there's something that's just sexier about this fragrance. It feels a little bit more grown, but not in an older way, just in a more confident way, in a more self-assured way, in a more attractive way. You attract people. You have a magnetism to you. To me, this outshines Eau Sauvage, the EDT, but I want to know what you think. Now we're going to talk about a fragrance that I actually don't have anymore. I used to have this fragrance, and at one point in time on this channel, I did a video. It's still on my channel from years ago where I compared this predecessor, this timeless fragrance, with its successor that I think outshines it. And to be honest with you, I don't even completely remember what I said in that video, but I'm pretty sure I said I liked Mugler Cologne more than I liked original Vetiver. And I can easily say that that sentiment has completely flip-flopped. I love original Vetiver. I fell in love with the decant that I had for years at that time, so much so that I got rid of Mugler Cologne, and now I just want this. Now you can't even get Mugler Cologne anymore. In fact, it was discontinued, then it came back as another scent called Come Together. I think it was basically the same thing, and I think that is also gone too. I could be mistaken there. But original Vetiver, yeah, it's easy to say that this may not exist if Mugler Cologne had never existed. I think they came out like just a couple years apart, which is a little bit too close to really say they quickly copied them and put out something of quality, but it's obviously not impossible. Nonetheless, this is a soapy Vetiver fragrance. Soapy, clean, posh, creamy, floral in the heart. There's something kind of rich about it, but still very fresh and transparent, green smelling for sure. And it just smells of smoother quality than Mugler Cologne ever did. Mugler Cologne is great. A great scent, especially for the prices you used to be able to get it for. What a great, just kind of easy breezy, soapy, clean scent to throw on when you don't know what to wear. But when you put it next to original Vetiver, man, the quality did not match up. It was a little bit more abrasive to my nose than original Vetiver. I love the smoothness of this scent. I just love how the cleanliness it brings just feels like high quality soap, like luxurious 5-star hotel soap. And I like that. If I'm gonna smell clean like soap, I want to smell like the best soap. Wouldn't you? That's original Vetiver. I think this outshines its predecessor in every way. High recommendation from the House of Creed. One of the best they've ever done. And let's stay on Creed. And this one is a little bit flipped. And this is what I mean by that. Creed Silver Mountain Water. Yes, this is a timeless, I'm going to keep saying this, legendary, iconic fragrance. I'll keep saying it because it's true. Phenomenal scent. Came out in the 1990s during the time when everyone was making like aquatics and really fresh sea or Cologne based fragrances, fresh out the shower kind of stuff. And this was just kind of riding outside the lines parallel to all of that. It smelled like nothing else at the time, and still to this day smells like it could have come out at any point. It's metallic, it's kind of cooling, alpine fresh, there's tea, so there's this calming vibe to it. There's black currant, maybe some bergamot. It's kind of juicy, citrusy, fruity without being sweet. There's an herbal quality, and it's so cold smelling. White is the perfect color for this fragrance. It's an amazing scent, but the presence of it as it sits on the skin after a couple hours, I can easily say it's a little bit disappointing. First spray, fantastic. And I even have an older bottle here. This is a 2018 bottle, and it performs well. I'm not really concerned about the performance, but the overall vibe that it carries into its dry down compared to this next fragrance that again, may not exist if it weren't for this. This one just carries a more interesting and more present vibe into its dry down. This is Mefisto from Xerjoff, and I know a lot of you guys would probably agree with me that you like this more than Silver Mountain Water. Now, what this does not mean is
Mefisto is better.
That is a subjective statement. I'm not making subjective statements like that. All I'm saying is I like this more. This outshines this for me, for my wearing, for my taste, for my functionality. Even though I love this stuff, I still wear it. Mefisto, it's not exactly the same as Silver Mountain Water. It carries the same vibe though. It's undeniable. You can't deny that they were peeking over the fence at Creed and like, you know what? No one will know. We know. I wouldn't call it a clone. And in fact, I hope that's made clear by the whole presentation of this video before you clicked on it. These are not clones. These are not companies trying to say, I want to recreate that scent as our own. Exactly the way it is. I want to make it our own, as if we made it and make money off of it. I don't think that's what's happening here with these fragrances I'm talking about. They do their own thing. They have their own aesthetic that is related to the brands they come from, and they do have enough differences from the originals to make it clear that they're not striving to be one-to-one copies. So I hope that's clear. But Mefisto, again, definitely pays homage to Silver Mountain Water, but in my world, it's a little bit less metallic, more musky for sure, less inky. Silver Mountain Water has this interesting inky vibe that accompanies the metallic feel, but you don't really get that here. A little bit smoother, maybe a little bit more citrus forward or fruit forward, but not sweet once again. But it's lovely stuff, man. It's an easy wear. It's so versatile and it performs pretty well. In fact, I'd say it performs better than Silver Mountain Water in most cases. Let me know what you think of Mefisto. Do you still prefer Silver Mountain Water? There's no right and wrong here. But again, for my wearing in this video, this one takes the cake. And our final pairing, I don't know if this is going to stir the pot a bit. I don't think so, because this fragrance has been around a bit since 1988. I don't think there's a lot of you guys watching this that wore this around the time it came out. I certainly didn't. So I think it's a minority of people who really have a long-standing associative and nostalgic relationship with this fragrance. I think it's the minority, if I'm not mistaken. Once again, I'll say it for the last time: iconic, legendary, timeless. But nonetheless, I'm sure there's a lot of guys in modern times who are maybe a little younger who don't get this, or who don't like it, or who don't really want to give it the time of day because it maybe smells a little weird. And this is Fahrenheit from Dior, ahead of its time. That is really what timeless means. It could have come out at any point. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't remember the last time I wore Fahrenheit. I don't really reach for this. I will always have it because I do think it's worth having in a collection, because of just the vibe that it has, because of what it stands for, how it came out when it did, and really kind of paved the way for stuff that wasn't happening. I respect Fahrenheit for that. This petrol-like violet leaf, fresh in a very strange way, with leather, with a really interesting little bit of sweetness in there, but somehow comes across as a cohesive scent personality that is incredibly masculine and even quite a bit versatile if you love it. Again, I think scent-wise, I think it aged just fine, but the perception of it, for some reason, I don't think it really did. I think a lot of guys will easily overlook Fahrenheit, even though it's still fairly popular and it's still on shelves today after all these years. But a fragrance that I personally prefer a little bit more, and I believe it's the same perfumer, if I'm not mistaken. From Brioni, we have Brioni EDP. The first fragrance they did in their kind of refresh, if I'm not mistaken, with this new Homme line, or this new man line. And it's not exactly like Fahrenheit. Some people say it's more like Aqua Fahrenheit, which I never tried, so I can't speak on that flanker, but it's undeniably tied to the Fahrenheit DNA. It has a similar vibe. It's undeniable. It is fresh in a very odd way, in this kind of, again, green metallic-y way, but no petrol, no gasoline vibes here at all. I'd say it's overall pretty smooth, maybe smoother than Fahrenheit to my nose. It just smells like a man. It smells very masculine, but it's understated, gentlemanly stuff, very classy. Not the most formal, but very classy. When you want to make a statement of being just refined and well groomed and well put together, this stuff is great. But regardless, in my own little opinion, in my own little world, in this little room, I prefer Brioni EDP to Fahrenheit. I think it outshines it. Let me know what you think.